Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What kind of slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad from Toadstool Sports. Back with you at a weird time. I'm just going to do this, whatever. This is going to be, I don't know how entertaining this is going to be. I don't know if anybody's going to really care. I'm going to fill out my women's volleyball bracket, college women's volleyball, only because it's a good sport to jerk off to. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That, and I love brackets, so I don't know. I feel like I have to do it. I don't know what else to say. I don't know anything, really. I'm just going to try to fill this thing out and whatever. It's going to be my entry on ESPN. I don't know. Dirty Sock, what's up? Yeah, exactly. It's nice to watch. I don't know anything else. I filled one out last year when ESPN first brought this thing out, and I know I did not have the correct winner. Let me see. Who was the winner last year? Let me see. Women's Volleyball Championship 2024. Who won it? It was Penn State. That's what I thought. And I think I had I don't remember who I picked. I might have even picked Pittsburgh last year. Penn State wound up winning. I believe that was last year. Whatever. We're going to get into it. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I do have some resources available for this. So my bracket's empty here. We're going to try to figure this out. Jeffrey, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. This is the bracket, I believe, has 64 teams in it. So it is a crazy bracket. It's like the March Madness of volleyball, pretty much. It's December. I don't know. What's a word for madness that begins with the December delusion? That's what this is. I don't know what else to call this. I mean, we'll get into it. I mean, you know how I do these brackets, right? So first thing that I do is I take a look at what are the percentages picked for these teams, like who's picking whom. But of course, ESPN got rid of the who's picking whom feature for every round of like the March Madness basketball tournament. And now they just give you the percentage picked for each champion. And then they give you like one other thing here, which is the people's bracket, which is the percentage picked in like each matchup. So like you can see here, like Nebraska's being very, very heavily picked. They're the best team in the league. They're undefeated. I mentioned that this morning. 65.4% of people are picking them. The question is going to be, do they deserve to be picked that much or not? And what is the actual percentage chance that they actually win? As far as this is concerned, but you see the people's bracket has Nebraska facing Kentucky in the final, and 87% of the people that have that matchup are picking Nebraska to win it. But you can't really use these numbers for anything else. You could kind of use it to gauge like what the public perception is, but you don't really get a gauge of like what percentage of people are actually picking that team to really go that far. You know what I mean? You can kind of see who's being picked further than another team, but that's really about it. So it's going to be kind of a guide. We're going to be a little bit blind, and I'm going to use Evolve, which is a site that I just found by just Googling like NCAA volleyball tournament probabilities or something. So this site, I mean, it looks like they know what they're doing. I don't know. They have power ratings for all the teams, and they have the chance of winning the tournament and the chance to advance per round according to whatever stats they use here. I'm just going to blindly trust these people here. I'm going to trust them to know more than the public, whoever these people are. I don't know. Are these women or men that pay more attention to and actually do all these stats? I don't know, because watching women's volleyball, I mean, paying attention to women's sports seems like a women's thing, but like stats seems like a dude's thing. Although dudes watch it just because they want to, like look at chicks' asses and whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, the odds are not up at any of the books. I was going to try to use those, but I guess we're not going to. I guess we're going to use these. Last year we did have the odds. Maybe eventually they will be up. So I don't know if I'm going to like tweak anything in my bracket, but let's just go, man. So we can see here, according to this website, Nebraska has a 55.5% chance to win, which is still crazy. I mean that's insane. Like, at least in like basketball, not for women's basketball necessarily, but for men's basketball, you never see a favorite to that degree. I think maybe I've seen it like once or twice ever, where a team was actually above 50% to win the whole thing prior to the tournament starting. But they are being overpicked. They're being picked 65.4% of the time, so it's actually a negative leverage play if you're trying to beat like everybody on ESPN or whatever, even though Nebraska is above 50% to win it, but not by that much. So you're basically saying that the field has a whatever that is, a 44.5% chance to, if I'm doing my math right, I should, because I was good at math until I got a stroke, 44.5% chance for the field. So I think, you know me. I mean, I'm going to want to fade the team that's being picked the most if there's negative leverage there, and there is. So we go down to the next. Kentucky is the next most picked at 9.8%. According to this website, Kentucky is actually third in their power ratings, a close third behind Texas in second. Kentucky, 11.4%. So according to them, there is positive leverage on Kentucky, but only like less than 2%. Then you got Texas only at 7.9%, and they look like they're probably going to be the pick if you want the best combination of leverage and percentage chance to win, because they have a 12% chance. They're on the other side of the bracket from Nebraska as well. And as you can see here in the People's bracket, people are picking Kentucky over Texas to get to the final. So Texas seems like a decent stab, really, based on what I'm seeing here. And they're going to be positive leverage. 7.9% of pickers picking them. According to this site, 12%. So you're getting 4-point-whatever% leverage. And then Pitt, 9.9%. They're over on the same side as Nebraska. I think they're the other 1 seed, I assume. I think these top 4 teams are the 4 1 seeds. Pitt is probably actually the 4th number 1 seed in the seeding. They're only getting picked 4.3% of the time because they'd have to get by Nebraska, but it might be a difficult ask to ask them to get by Nebraska. And 9.9% is decent leverage, though. I mean, they're getting like more than 5% leverage, but then you have to weigh that with the fact that their percentage to win is a little bit lower than Texas's. The fact that Texas is on a better side of the bracket to get through, and it seems like the public doesn't want them. So I'm going to go with Texas to win the whole thing. I feel like whenever I pick Texas to do anything, they don't win, but that's what we're going to do. How many total points scored? I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. I'm going to have to look up a number on that, so I won't fill out the tiebreaker right now, but whatever. No, it's absolutely not a cakewalk. I mean, they're still going to have to get by Kentucky, which is not going to be easy. It looks like it's basically a coin flip, except that more people are picking Kentucky over Texas, so I'm just going to go with Texas instead. Hope that they get through Kentucky, and then they have a shot to win it if they get to the final. That's what I'm doing. But Kentucky is very, very good, obviously, and Texas has to get through them. Yeah, Abdul Carter. No, I did not. He's been benched before, I think, but I did not see that. Watching porn during a team meeting, it depends what kind of porn. Like, if it was straight or lesbian porn, I say let him play. If it was gay porn, I say kick him off the team permanently. So I don't agree with that. But I don't even want to know what's going on with my plays tonight, man. I'm doing this as a distraction as well so that I don't see that shit. All right. Now the question is, who do we want to face Texas in the final? It's probably going to be Nebraska. I mean, according to this, they have almost a 70% chance to win the Final Four matchup, which means get to the championship game. So that's what we're going to do. So I know, everybody's going to have Nebraska there, but there's a reason for that. I mean, they're a heavy favorite. They're undefeated. I mean, they're probably not going to fall short of the championship. We're just going to have to roll the dice on that being close to a coin flip and that being better than being on the public side of things. You know what I mean? Because the goal here is to beat like a huge field, basically, to some extent. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, if you're in a very, very small pool, maybe you go with Nebraska and just try to beat your opponents with other picks in the earlier rounds. But it seems like a play where like nobody is going to pick against Nebraska. So if you do that and then Nebraska loses, you have a great chance to like take down your pool. You know what I mean? So that's, how it's game theory. So that's what I like to do. But we will have Nebraska getting to the championship. I just don't really see them not doing it, according to what I'm seeing here. Then we want to look at what do we have in the other side of the bracket. Like, do we want to roll Kentucky all the way through the Elite Eight? It seems like we probably do. They have a 65.1% chance to get through that, which is actually better than Kentucky's. So Kentucky, not a cakewalk, according to this. Kentucky only has a Texas, only has a 61. Texas, not a cakewalk, okay? They have to get through Kentucky. Kentucky's very good, as far as I can tell. Some power ratings have Kentucky as the number 2 team in the country, and Texas third. But I think there are a clear top 3, really, and then Pittsburgh is somewhat of a clear fourth. But Texas, whatever this Elite Eight matchup is, looks difficult. So they're only going to be a 62% probability to get through the Elite Eight. But once they do that, their probability goes back up, which is interesting. Like, who does that mean they're going to face in the Elite Eight? Like, why is their Elite Eight matchup so difficult? Like, are they drawing like Wisconsin? Who do they draw here? It's because they have Wisconsin as a 3, it looks like, in their but Wisconsin's gonna have to go up against Stanford though, so I don't know. We'll figure that out in a minute. It's probably gonna be one of those 2 teams to get through this region, to the Elite Eight in this region, but that is kind of odd. But anyway, who do we want to roll through this region where Kentucky is? It looks like we do want to put Kentucky there. I mean, even though everybody's going to be doing it. Let me see. So, yeah, you can't really see what the public bracket is doing as far as, like, getting them that. Like, we can see that pretty much everybody has Kentucky going there, but, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't like to, go against things that are, a significant majority probability, you know what I mean? So I guess we will put Kentucky there as well. I know it's boring, but also these women's sports, there's not a whole lot of parity here. If it's anything like basketball, which maybe it isn't, I don't know, but we will have Kentucky there. Maybe we bounce Pitt out of here. They still have a 62.3% chance, though, according to this, to get through the Elite Eight. It looks like everybody's picking them over SMU, though. And SMU is right behind them, but SMU really, really a lot lower, though, to get through the Elite Eight. So, I don't know. It's part of that percentage chance there. I think I'm still going to go with Pitt. I'm going to go with all the 1 seeds, but, I don't really love doing that. Sometimes it does work out that way. More often in women's sports, it does. But it just looks like there's too much of a drop-off between the rest. So then as far as who are we going to put into the Elite Eight for the rest of these regions here, I'm going to figure that out in a minute. 1% best are on Penn State. Why? No, I mean, that seems like I don't know. It seems like kind of a false, sharp thing to do because they won it last year. I don't like that. 15-1. They're probably overrated. Like, what does this have as their probability to win? Where are they? Like, where is Penn State in the rankings here? What are we talking about? They're 52nd. Like, they're not going to win, dude. What are you doing? 15-1? I mean, it looks like they have absolutely no chance to win. So I don't know what we're talking about here. Are they even in the tournament at all? Where are they? Yeah, they are. Oh, they're going up against Texas. Yeah, we're already bouncing them. They're going to get bounced. I might even bounce them against South Florida, but I have to figure that out. Hang on. because the way these seedings work, they seed the top 8, and then the other teams don't even get seeded for whatever reason, although you can kind of infer what their seeding kind of is. But, all right. Starting in the top left, who's Nebraska going to face? Is it going to be Louisville? I know Louisville was good last year. Louisville did get all the way there to the Final Four. I think Louisville lost the championship last year. Louisville is, let's see, they have a 7.2% chance, 47.9% to get through the Sweet 16, which is what we're looking at now to get to the Elite 8. Who else is in this region with them? Like, it would be them, basically them or Texas A&M. Is there a huge drop-off to Texas A&M? No. Texas A&M is right behind them, 47.2. So this looks like one of those maybe leverage spots, or if one team is being overpicked, then you actually want to flip, go to the other side of that leverage call there. Louisville might be getting picked a little bit too highly. Let me see here. Yeah, Louisville's getting picked 62% of the time. So you know what? I'm gonna bounce them with Texas A&M. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. It looks like their percentage shot is not that much worse than Louisville. So I'm gonna put them into the Elite 8 against Nebraska. Go a little bit against the grain there. That looks like a leverage spot where it's going to be more of a coin flip between the two. So assuming they both get there, which it seems like they probably will. I mean, their percentage chance to get there is insane, but only a 0.7% difference. It looks like basically when those two teams meet up, or at least to get to the Elite 8. All right. Over in the top right, we're looking at Stanford and Wisconsin. 59% are picking Stanford over Wisconsin. They're both really close as well, though Stanford is actually a 3-point-whatever% chance higher than Wisconsin. So, I mean, that one's a closer call for me because less of the public is actually doing that with Stanford. And here it actually looks like more of the public, well, actually, no, they're both the same being picked to win the championship, both 1.7%. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to go with the better team there with Stanford. I'll put them in the Elite 8 there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's enough of a percentage difference, I think, based on the fact that people are almost kind of coin flipping between those two, so it's below 60%. I think the percentage, kind of bears that out. I don't know. That one's a close call, though. The Elite 8 down to the bottom left here. We got SMU. We got Purdue. I think it's going to be SMU. I mean, we have them here. 66.8% chance to get through the Sweet 16. So that looks like the call for SMU, even though people actually only are picking them 65% to get past Purdue. So SMU looks like pretty much the right call to get through there, up against Pitt, and maybe potentially to even get through Pitt, even though I did pick Pitt. But yeah, we will have SMU get there. I know this is boring. It's a lot of the top seeds here, like I said. But again, this is what happens in women's sports, man. And then we have who Kentucky is going to face, basically between Arizona State and Creighton. Or like the 2 and 3 are really like the only choices. Creighton looks like they have a better percentage chance by quite a bit, actually, here. 45.5%. Compared to Arizona State, only 33.4%. That's a pretty big difference there. Creighton with a much better chance to get through. Like, it looks like Arizona State is facing some really difficult opponent in the second round here, which I guess is Tennessee. Maybe is being like really underrated in this tournament. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. So yeah, Tennessee is right here at 12th. So that's why. That's crazy. Yeah, like it almost looks like that might be a leverage spot where maybe you even go really crazy and you maybe even bounce Arizona State with Tennessee. I don't think I'm going to do that, but it looks like it's a much more difficult spot there for Arizona State. So we'll have Creighton getting to the Elite 8 there. So there you go, 2-3 seeds in the Elite 8 with the 2s and the 1s. All right. Wisconsin based on locker room video. What was it? DM that to me. I don't know what we're talking about here. Then I'll have some material to use later tonight. It sounds like good info to me. The players posted it. How did I miss that? What? Arizona State is a party school. Yeah, so is Wisconsin. Ooh. A lot of these schools are. These big schools, a lot of them are. All right. Now we're going to go with the rest of the Sweet 16 teams here. So starting with the top left, we need who is Nebraska going to face basically out of Miami, Tulsa, Kansas, and High Point. Probably basically Miami versus Kansas, although I don't want to really write anybody off here. But we have Miami at 17th. It looks like they have a what round am I looking at here? To get through the round of 32, Miami is looking like a... Wait, am I looking at the right thing here? Yeah, to get through the round of 32, they're only a 33.1% chance. Does that make sense? Maybe it does. Where's Kansas at? I mean, High Point is way lower, of course. I mean, I'm not going to really be picking many of these lower seeds to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to find, like, the best leverage spots and then just kind of let it pan out otherwise here. Oh, Kansas is above them. Yeah, there we go. Kansas has that's why. Kansas has a 63.2% chance to get there. So, yeah, it's going to be Kansas. I mean, the other teams were who? High Point and Tulsa. Yeah, okay. I don't know where Tulsa's at, but they're going to be lower. Yeah, they're only at 64th. So, it's going to be Kansas to get through there to the Sweet 16. So, we'll have them beating... probably Miami there, I would assume. We'll have them getting to the Sweet 16. The other game is who's going to face Texas A&M. Very likely it's Louisville. I mean, I know, again, it's boring, but I didn't even know how boring this was going to be. So, I mean, it either basically has to be Louisville or who else we got here? We got Western Kentucky, Marquette, and Loyola Chicago. Western Kentucky seems like, actually they're way down at 57th in the country, I guess, basically. So why are they, or 57th ranked? I don't know what that ranking even means, really. So why are they a 7 seed here? I don't really know. And Marquette looks like the public's not even picking Marquette. And they're actually, I guess, worse than Western Kentucky, which is kind of insane. Although Western Kentucky's, we'll talk about the coin flip, like first round games when we get there, because maybe that would be a spot to maybe actually take Marquette. But yeah, we will put Louisville there in the Sweet 16. Who's Texas going to face between Colorado, Indiana, American, or Toledo is the question, basically. Let's see. Who did I say? I already forgot. Indiana, they're at 19th. Indiana's got a 68.7% chance to get there, so likely we're not going to buck that trend. I mean, I know I'm not even really looking at the percentages picked here. Like, everybody's picking Louisville, but, I mean, it seems like there's a really high chance that they get there, so I just don't want to buck that. This was a good leverage spot with Kansas over Miami, by the way. I didn't even realize that. I should have pointed that out. Kansas is being underpicked big time. Like, they're being picked less than Miami. And you can see here, like, this site is telling you that Kansas is over a 60% chance to beat Miami in that matchup, basically. So that's a good leverage spot to take Kansas to get to the Sweet 16 there. Okay. Now, between Colorado, it looks like a lot of people are picking Indiana, but maybe that is justified. Indiana's at 19th there. Yes, like I said, 68.7%. Colorado, 25.3%. It's enough of a high percentage. I'm just going to roll Indiana there. You know, I don't like to make huge underdog picks, and Indiana's not being that overpicked at 74%. I mean, 68% or whatever to 74%. Not huge. So we'll go with that. And then probably Wisconsin is going to get there against Stanford. But, I mean, they, I should say, have Wisconsin way up there. Wisconsin, 87.6% to get through. I think there's no question. The question is who wins between Wisconsin and Stanford, really, and that's going to be a closer call. So we'll do that. Wisconsin to the Sweet 16. Again, I know boring, all these 1, 2, and 3 seeds, but that's just the way that it is. Maybe a 5 seed will creep in somewhere here. Then whoever's going to face Pitt is going to be Iowa State, the Tommies from St. Thomas, the Tomboys, Minnesota, and Fairfield. Iowa State looks like not great, actually. They're way down at 50-50 if they only have a 22.8% chance to get through. So Minnesota is the 4 seed. So let's see. Minnesota, is 16th in the country, 73.7%. So, Minnesota is going to be the play to get through there. Who's being picked there? I don't know. Let's see. What is the public doing there? The public is picking Minnesota at 69%, but they're actually being underpicked at that rate. So I think Minnesota was pretty good last year too. I think they had like some crazy matchup against Kentucky last year, if I remember correctly. We'll roll Minnesota to the Sweet 16 there. All right. And then SMU is going to go up against basically Purdue or Baylor, unless it's Wright State or Arkansas State, which I highly doubt. Baylor, 27.2% here. Purdue is up ahead of them at 63.3%. But we already saw Purdue is being picked pretty high, 83%. So Purdue is definitely being overpicked here. I mean, if you wanted to go with Baylor, that is kind of a leverage spot where Purdue is, absolutely being overpicked there. But you got to weigh that against, the fact that Purdue is 63.3%, that's still a little bit high. Like, if it was below 60%, I would probably knock them out with Baylor there. I'll still go with Purdue, but we're going to bounce them with SMU anyway. But it looks like there's a decent chance that they lose to Baylor. If you want to fade out what the public is doing there, I would not hate you for that. Kentucky, who are they going to go up against between BYU, USC, Cal Poly, and Princeton? Cal Poly, our favorite basketball program there. Princeton is actually not really ranked that bad, I guess, at 28th. Although, I don't know, what is this? Why are they 28th here? But actually, no, they're ranked 82nd. Never mind. I'm not looking. The left column is just a number, so no, I'm not looking at that. So the ranking is actually over here. They're actually bad, 82nd in ranking. So Princeton is actually bad. Let me see. BYU versus USC is basically the question here. So looking at who's being picked, whoops, I'm getting all these tabs mixed up here. USC is being picked 67% of the time, so let's see if that's warranted here. Where is USC? Why are they not? Wait, what? There they are, Southern Cal. At 15th ranked, they're 63%. So they're being overpicked, but not by a lot. So, I mean, they are going to be the favorite, basically, to get through that round. It looks like against, who was it against again? BYU. Where is BYU? We have BYU, only a 30.5% chance to get through, of course. So USC will be the favorite there. I guess we got to go with them to do it, even though people are picking them. But they're not being as overpicked as Purdue is, though. And then Creighton will go up against likely Arizona State here. Oh, actually, I don't know. That was that leverage spot there. Maybe actually you want to go with Tennessee there. 78% of pickers are picking Arizona State over Tennessee. And what do we see here again? I mean, they are really close, dude. Like, we have Arizona State at only 63.7%. That's crazy. It looks like Tennessee does have a decent chance to beat them, but I'll still go with Arizona State. It's close, though. And then, I mean, I'm very favorite heavy, but that is the way that it is. Again, if it was like below 60%, I'd probably be fading it. Like 60% and above, I kind of just roll with the favorite and then bounce them like a round later. So that's what we have here. So we've got our Sweet 16s are all the 1 through 4 seeds, though. I know, again, not very exciting, but that is what we have here. We have a couple of 3s in the Elite 8 over the 2s, and then now we just have to figure out the first round matchups, and that's it. We have San Diego against Kansas State. Interesting that San Diego would be considered higher, but it looks like Kansas State is actually the better team here. Kansas State, it's a coin flip-ish, though, 53.5%, at least according. I want to see the betting odds on this, though, because the betting odds might tell me something different than what this site is, but let's compare that to what the pickers are saying here. 69% are picking San Diego. Dude, I think it's just because San Diego has that 8 seed next to their name and Kansas State is unseeded, so everybody's picking San Diego. But it looks like Kansas State deserves to be favored there, so we will go with Kansas State there, which I thought the public would maybe be more on the Kansas State side there because of the name Kansas State. Like, who the fuck? But, like, who knows who San Diego is? Although San Diego is definitely a volleyball city there. We know Clint has done some beach volleyball Top Gun montages out there when he was in San Diego. Yeah, I know. I was looking for the odds. I don't even know if the odds makers are going to put them out. They did last year, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to change my bracket because I don't really care that much. I'm just doing it for the hell of it, basically. And then likely Miami over Tulsa. I think that's probably not going to be a question. 79.3% for Miami. even if they're being a bit overpicked, well, they're being way overpicked at 96%, but I'm not going to fade like a 70-something% favorite, and we're bouncing them with Kansas. So that leverage spot with Kansas beating them is good, I think. TCU and Stephen F. Austin. TCU looks like they have an above 80% chance, 80.5% chance to beat Stephen F. Austin. I don't even know. Where is Stephen? Where are they? Yeah, there they are. SFA. 19.5%, yeah. So, I mean, everybody's going to be picking TCU, but even at 94%, TCU is not really being that overpicked. I mean, they're a huge favorite. We'll pick them to win. Unlikely that they'll lose. And then Western Kentucky and Marquette actually might be one where maybe we actually want to pick Marquette. This is pretty close, dude. This is a coin flip. Western Kentucky at 51.7% according to this site. Marquette 48.3% to win that. And because Western Kentucky, again, because they have that seed next to their name, where are they? Yeah, they're being picked 64%. So that's like a coin flip game where Western Kentucky is being overpicked, man. So I'll go with Marquette in that one. And again, we have the bigger conference team getting underpicked just because they're not seeded. So we'll go with Marquette there in that one. All right. A little bit. I like those matchups. We get to, fade the public a little bit there. There we go. Penn State against South Florida. Again, I know Penn State, they won last year. They do have a 70.6% chance to beat South Florida, though. South Florida, yeah, I mean, probably not going to be able to do it, but, I mean, it's not out of the question. But how many people are picking Penn State? 88%. So they're being overpicked, but still we're bouncing them against Texas anyway. People are not even picking Penn State over Texas, but I don't think they're going to beat Texas, as we can see there. But we'll pick the returning champs, Penn State, the bigger conference team, to get it done against South Florida. They are the favorite. Colorado against American, likely a big favorite here too. 74.3%. Not huge, but big enough that we'll probably do it. Where are they at? 95% are picking them, but yeah, I mean, they're being overpicked, but again, I don't think you want to go crazy with these upsets because it's still very likely Colorado gets that. And again, they're getting bounced against Indiana here anyway. The pickers are picking Indiana too. Then we have UTEP and North Carolina. Have to decide that matchup. UTEP, 40.4%, so that's interesting. This is a closer matchup here. And they don't call North Carolina UNC. Like, dude, I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing here. Give me some consistency. Evolve. North Carolina's at 59.6% to win. And they're the team that's not seeded, dude. So even though it looks like they're going to be the favorite over UTEP, again, the bigger conference team, but 53% of pickers are picking UTEP. So, yeah, we're definitely going to take the favorite there. It looks like it's going to be North Carolina being favored there. So, again, the bigger conference team against a smaller conference that's just for some reason seeded. And then we have another one of those here with South Dakota State and Arizona. So let's see. Is Arizona actually the better team? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they have a 58.6%. So it's like all these bigger teams, man. Bigger conference teams. South Dakota State, yeah. I mean, it bears that out, 41.4%. I mean, they're the only two teams in that matchup. So let's see what the public is doing here. They're taking South Dakota State, 57%. Because again, dude, the public is just taking these the teams. I want Arizona there. The public is just taking these seeds, these teams, just because they have a seed next to their name. But looks like there's some value going against them. So we'll go with Arizona in that one. All right, Michigan and Xavier. Michigan, the bigger conference team, does have the 8 next to their name. And they're probably getting picked. Yeah, 84% are picking Michigan. And probably, I mean, almost justified. I mean, 74.1% for Michigan. We'll pick them, but yeah. And then Iowa State against St. Thomas. I don't think there's going to be any, like Iowa State's being picked too much at 95%, but they're going to be a big favorite here. We already saw that. It's only 77%, but still, that's high enough that we'll just roll them through that first matchup there. Baylor and Arkansas State, probably going to be the same thing. Everybody's going to pick Baylor, although they're only a 66.1%. So Baylor, they are being overpicked throughout this the first couple of rounds in this bracket, man. So, I mean, if you wanted to go with Arkansas State there to pull that off, I would not kill you for that because Baylor looks like they're being overvalued. 66.1%, not high. I'll take Baylor, but I mean, again, but then Baylor looks like they might actually have a leverage spot against Purdue that I mentioned. So it's kind of crazy how that works out. Like, Purdue isn't that crazy to get past Baylor, but Baylor isn't really that crazy to get past Arkansas State. So all of that is kind of crazy. Like, what are we looking at with Arkansas State? Yeah, I mean, they're ranked 36th in the country, I guess. Yeah, so there's a lot of weirdness going on in that area of the bracket. So there could be some chaos there. Between, Purdue, Baylor, and Arkansas State there. And then we do have Rice against Florida. Here we go again, man. We have a seed next to the lower conference team in Rice. Now, do you think this site is just overvaluing big conferences? But again, the big conference teams play more difficult schedules, presumably. Yeah, Florida's got a 67.3% to beat Rice here. So there's a lot of consistency with that. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'll have to see what the odds say when they come out. But this one, 61% of pickers are actually picking Florida here against Rice, though. And that still looks like it's a little bit low. What did I say the odds were on that? 69? No, 67.3. And they're only getting 61, so it looks like it's still leverage to take Florida there. So we'll do that. UCLA and Georgia Tech, two big conference teams there in that 8 versus unseeded matchup there. UCLA is being picked a very high percentage at 83%. Again, these California schools and their volleyball, but they're being overpicked quite a bit, man. They're only 51.4% to get through that first matchup against Georgia Tech. So, yeah, I mean, that looks like maybe it's a coin flip. We're fading the public. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Georgia Tech. Looks like that's more of a coin flip there where the public is definitely too heavy on UCLA, so we'll do that one with Georgia Tech. BYU and Cal Poly, I think we already saw it. Like, BYU has a high percentage to get through, 73%. They're going to be overpicked again, but with 93%, but still 73% I think is enough to put them through that one round there. And then we have Northern Iowa against Utah. Again, we have a smaller conference team with a seed next to them against a bigger conference team. Northern Iowa is being picked 68% of the time. Where is Northern Iowa here? Come on, man. UNI, 58.9% for UNI. Interesting. That's a tough call. So they're definitely being overpicked. They're like a 58%. Do we go with Utah in this one? Maybe we do, because I basically say my threshold is about 60%. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a close call there between the two. All right, we'll go with Utah there. That one's a close call, though. I don't love that one as much as some of these other ones. And then Tennessee looks like they're definitely going to be a heavy favorite against Utah. I mean, they're way up here. They're 11th in the country, according to this thing, 81%, even though, they're going to be picked heavily, 92%. But, yeah, Tennessee, they have a shot to beat Arizona State, as we saw. So that's it, man. That's the bracket. So there you go. All one seeds in the Final Four. We're going against the grain with Texas as the champion. By the way, this is in Kansas City, though, so that does kind of so the way that this works is I think the first two rounds are hosted by the better team. So, well, that's something to keep in mind, though. So maybe we should rethink this a little bit because I don't know, man, because the team that has the seed next to their name is going to be the host. So that's the thing. So, like, Utah is going to have to play at Northern Iowa. You know what I mean? For instance. But we still see so I don't know if the percentage chances here are taking into account the home advantage enough here or whatever. So maybe we have to rethink those things a little bit. So we'll see, because it seemed way too consistent that we're taking all those underseeded big conference teams. But I'm going to see what happens with the odds. I don't know if I'm going to change anything with this bracket or not. But then once we get to the Final Four, that's going to be in Kansas City. And then I don't know where the Elite Eight matchups are. If the higher seed is still hosting those, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I mean, we're definitely going against the grain with Texas here. Nebraska, I mean, the fact that it's in Kansas City, Nebraska will have a lot of fans there. Texas isn't that far away from it, though, either. I think Nebraska and Texas benefit more from that venue or from that location than Kentucky and Pitt do, I think. So, Well, actually, I don't know. Actually, Kansas City, maybe, I don't know. Which is closer, Austin, Texas, or Lexington, Kentucky? I'm not even sure. The location is definitely beneficial to Nebraska, but we're fading them anyway. We're going with Texas here. We'll submit it for now. I'll figure out that tiebreaker number in a bit. That's it, man. So, I don't know. Not a whole lot of info there. Probably not a great show from me, but that's it for now, man. So, I'll be back tomorrow morning, I guess. Hopefully not being really angry about all the results tonight, but we will see. That's going to do it. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging out for now. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Learn to Toad on Instagram. Like, subscribe to the channel here. Give me a good review on Apple, Spotify. Listen over there. That helps me out. We're on, we have Covered in Uke, is my Uke channel on YouTube. And then we got patreon.com/LearnToToad, and you can get some Uke stuff there too. Be on the lookout for the Loser Cast, which I don't know when that's going to start. Hopefully you can find the channel on YouTube. It's a very small channel right now, and there are multiple Loser Casts, but it's the one with the big, like, red and gold L. Hopefully I'm not taking an L tonight, but that's going to do it for now. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging out for this stupid bracket special, if you want to call it that here. Probably won't put this one out on the audio because it's whatever. People have to go to the YouTube. It's too visual, too, so people have to go to the YouTube to see it. That's going to do it. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And I will be back, hopefully. Peace.